I did watch something else, and although strangely, he's kind of a main character, but it's not like a real main character. I watched the movie Argylle, which if nobody's heard about Argylle...
It's very kind of Guy Ritchie.
Yeah, and also like didn't get a lot of love, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll wait till that comes out and it's available on one of the many streaming platforms that I've got, and I did, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, this is weirdly video gamey, and I'm not sure what's happening in this first 10 minutes. Well, that is an excellent switch. So the reason why I was like, I didn't know if I could totally bridge these two shows, but Melissa Benoist played Supergirl, and Henry Cavill is like kind of the main character in Argylle.
Are you going to connect Superman? Is that what you're doing?
Who played Superman? So I think those work perfectly to bring the podcast together. And we were talking about Supernatural earlier.
Super. This is all super.
Well, it's perfectly fine that it looked a little bit video gamey to me, because that is actually something that the premise of the whole movie. It's like a great marriage of, I think I brought this up on the podcast before, Jewel of the Nile. I'm sure we all remember the Jewel of the Nile. It's a writer who then gets sucked into one of her own dramas and experiences. Well, that is more or less what's happening in this, that a main character is, writing mystery novels, the main character being Argylle in the novels.
Oh, okay.
So it's like kind of a really amped up. His hair is ridiculous. It's like basically a square. Like if you'd had a James Bond character, like, little action figure, that he is made to look like, Henry Cavill is made to look like the action figure Argylle. So he's a little too cartoony.
Wait. Okay, so Jewel of the Nile. You know that immediately makes me also think of, what is it, Lost City with Sandra Bullock?
Right.
Okay, so Channing Tatum is like the character that she's writing about. Are you saying that this Argylle character is represented by somebody in this movie?
In the movie, the Henry Cavill character shows up like the main
so he's Argylle, but Argylle is the character in the book.
Exactly. In the books, he is what the writer, Bryce Dallas Howard, imagines he would look like. So now in the real world, in a real drama with real problems, she's still seeing him sometimes, which is fun. But then also, like, main cast is Bryce Dallas Howard, Henry Cavill, and Sam Rockwell. And between the three of those, it's so enjoyable to watch, like a good spy movie with a really fun actor like Bullet Train with Brad Pitt. That was like, he brought a lot of fun to that, and mostly he wasn't really on the job. He wasn't like super focused on all the details and the things. He's like, but what about this part? And then punching someone, So this was fun in that same way that there was a lot of disbelief, like Kathleen Turner's character in Jewel of the Nile. Like, what is happening? I don't want to do this adventure. But then gets on board and kind of like figures it out and is actually all right. And I will not ruin the surprise at the end / halfway through the movie that you got to get on board with.
Okay.
But yeah, so the no spoiler version is, it's a lot of fun, and the start is wildly off from the actual flavor of the movie, because it's not a cartoon animation movie. And I was worried that I was going to get like, is this what people are having a problem with? It doesn't look good. Oh, that was supposed to not look good. Okay, fine, I'm into that. It's supposed to look like an overdone action movie. Yeah, it did.
Perfect.
You really nailed that. I believe it.
So this would be more of like an action comedy.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Because I do remember from the promotion, and I had thought I would probably like this, which it does sound like I would probably like this. So I will investigate. Did you say what streaming service?
I did not say the streaming service.
Yeah, it's an Apple. It's an Apple movie. It's one of these 3 movies this year that were $200 million movies. Yep.
Oh, wow. Apple. All right. Nailing it.
Wow. That is a huge budget.
Well, they also release in the theater. That's their thing.
Okay,
they're recouping the box office from the box office, not from the subscribers.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So from the promotion, I did see that it was like, she is a writer who is writing spy thriller stuff and accidentally, supposedly wrote something that is real and happening, and now they have to like save her, protect her.
That's the drama.
Yeah, don't overcommit on thinking that's what's happening.
Oh, okay.
Just try and go in more fresh.
Wait a minute, John. Are you revealing that you have seen this?
I didn't reveal. If
You
I ask me a
agreed right at
question,
the
I'll
top.
give you an answer. Yes, I have seen it.
So John did not even chime in until he's made some comment that makes it clear.
Very little that I could add.
Because Ed is doing such a great job.
Correct.
Well, we
Okay.
also didn't watch it together, and then we haven't talked about it until now. So this is the conversation. John,
know,
did
but-
you like it?
Sure.
Oh, okay.
Look, unfortunately, coming to this in the theater and knowing that it was from Matthew Vaughn, Layer Cake, Kick-Ass, Kingsman, a lot of really fun movies, it didn't quite work in the same way for me, so it was challenging, but there were fun parts to it.
I totally understand why it wouldn't be what you were wanting from that director, because I didn't go into it with that expectation. So me finding out that it had these other movie elements that I enjoyed, I'm like, I don't mind that you're doing that. I can understand why that might not have been what people wanted. Okay.
And it also could be seeing it in the theater versus seeing it on streaming. You have different sort of expectations and bars that you're hoping to hit.
Well, and for me, even watching it on streaming, knowing it was a theatrical release, I'm like, the bar is different for this. There's some stuff with Netflix that wouldn't be good in a theater. Like, you couldn't have put that in the theater. No offense. But this one, yeah, I could see that in the theater. And also maybe why that's not the full-blown theater-going experience that you want to be having if your previous experience was these action films. There's not a subtext or an entire main layer that's not that. It's not, layer biscuit. It was a very boring top layer of a
layer
writer.
biscuit.
Right. It's the writer on top is like, well, that's not an exciting story. No one cares about a writer. If nothing was happening to this writer, we wouldn't be having this whole movie. Like, I wrote some amazing stuff that didn't come true and no one came after me. End.
And it's over. Well, yes, it definitely looked very Kingsman-esque. So now that you've mentioned that's why.